Why don't black people today start businesses in their own communities so that the so-called black dollar can stay in their community?
I believe they are. I think there's a lot of there are a lot of movements to foster this sort of growth, and it's great, but it's not enough.
Hasan Piker, Cenk Uygur's nephew, gets roasted by Jesse Lee Peterson. Now, Jesse Lee Peterson is simply destroying Hasan Piker on the issue of systemic racism. The way only Jesse Lee Peterson knows how to do it. And as usual, it's really good. So Piker doesn't stand a chance against Jesse Lee Peterson. And Jesse Lee Peterson is basically known to be unfiltered, honest, and with opinions and stuff. And he's also factual too. So here we are with Jesse Lee Peterson roasting Piker in this heated debate. So if you enjoy what's being shared in this video, go ahead and smash like button, share the video for our cultures media. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
In comparison to today, black people might not have had these same civil liberties, but they were able to work together because they were forced to work together.
But they spent their money in white businesses.
They were not allowed to spend their money in white businesses.
No, that's not true. We spent our money in white businesses.
I thought the whole point of Jim Crow laws in the South was that you had segregated businesses.
But they still spent their money in white businesses.
I mean, but if you're forced, if you couldn't go to white businesses,
no,
then
you could go to them.
I understand, but I'm saying that it's still forced.
You couldn't sit down at the same counter with them, but you were allowed to go in there as a black person or black people and spend your money.
I mean, it seems like.
How do you explain that then? Because the black dollar, quote unquote, is there in the community.
Okay, so. The fact that, legally speaking, there was still limitations of as to what black people could and could not do probably forced black people to create black-only businesses. And that was the reason why...
it wasn't black-only business. White people...
it wasn't black-only businesses, but black-owned and operated businesses that served exclusively black customers. Historic black colleges is one example of this.
Why don't black people today start businesses in their own communities so that the so-called black dollar can stay in their community?
I believe they are. I think there's a lot of there are a lot of movements to foster this sort of growth, and it's great, but it's not enough. And the reason why it's not enough is not necessarily because like a black culture is one way or the other. It has nothing to do with that. It is a systemic problem. It's a problem of redistribution.
What do you mean by that?
By and large, like because of redlining and because of systemic racism and things that you are aware of yourself because of your personal experience. No, I'm not aware of that.
That doesn't exist.
Systemic racism does not exist.
What is systemic racism? What do you mean by that?
Like racism built into the structure of legislation, even if it doesn't have, even if it's not intentionally or specifically written off as like blacks can do this versus what whites can't do.
Like what? Give me an example of systemic racism.
Outcomes or studies that show when controlled for all other factors that black people still get longer sentencing for the same exact crimes in comparison to other races. This would be one example of that.
If they had lawyers instead of government lawyers or court-appointed lawyers, would they get longer sentences then if they could afford to buy their own lawyer?
Probably not. But why can't they buy their own? Why can't they afford their own lawyers?
Because they have kept themselves in poverty. So
why do you think they've kept themselves in poverty?
That's a good question, but I need to ask you this first and then respond.
Okay.
Just to hear your point. If black people got married, fathers and mothers raised their children, set a good example, provided for them, would they be in the situation that they're in today if they had two parents?
Probably not, but I'm not in the Thomas Sowell school of thought that the government is forcing black people. Thomas Sowell?
Who's that?
Thomas Sowell?
I don't know who that is.
He's a black thinker who was a Marxist.
Oh, Thomas Sowell.
Oh, well, English is my second language.
No,
I'm
no
Turkish,
problem. No, I just didn't
sometimes I mess up names.
No
so
problem.
if that's the case, then I'm sorry. Thomas Sowell.
Okay, so basically, this dude resorted to gaslighting. Okay, now, as y'all know, I'm a black man, okay? And when it comes to black people being in poverty and everything, black people are not in poverty because of the white racists and stuff. No, it's because of the fact that the choices that they made and stuff back then is what led them to stay in poverty. Okay, what I mean by that is like, you know, they're being offered education today, but a lot of black students out there have been refusing education. That's heartbreaking to me. Okay. And they chose not to go ahead and go to school. And there's a number of parents, not all black parents, but there's a number of black parents out there who tell their kids they don't have to finish high school or any of that. You don't have to go to college and all of that. But the simple fact of the matter is that you do need an education. Okay. This has been true ever since the 50s, where you can't go anywhere without an education. Can't really get far without an education. And the fact of the matter is that Piker here thinks he knows everything about systemic racism, how it affects or so-called affects black people and everything. It seems that he's not aware of the different, you know, African Americans out there who actually made it out of poverty, or like became successful for themselves and stuff, and made a name for themselves as well. So the fact of the matter is, usual liberal talking points resorting to usual gaslighting and everything on something that he doesn't know much or anything about. And it seems to me that he's actually being informed. Okay, so yeah, I used to live in the hood. I'm not living in the hood anymore. I'm helping support my family, and I'm thankful to do that.
I'm
Okay.
black, and I don't speak English either. I'm
Okay.
slow, so don't worry about it.
I don't know if that has anything to do with your blackness, but
If
okay.
black kids were born with two parents in the homes, and the fathers and mothers guide them in the right way to go, provided for them, would they be?
They would probably have better outcomes than now, but would it
Probably,
actually
or would
solve?
they?
Would it actually solve a lot of problems? No, and the reason for why is because of a lack of redistribution. And what I mean by that is, like the Chicago public school system, for example. That houses 75 to 80% of all of the kids in Iowa, yet only gets or in Illinois, sorry, not Iowa, and only gets 60% of all funds. This is a gigantic problem.
If they allow school vouchers, would that give the black family a
No,
way out?
I'm not a believer in school choice. I think
So
that
you
voucher
want them
programs
stuck in
and
the
charter.
public schools?
No, I want the government to redistribute funds in a way that yields better outcomes.
So you want the blacks in public schools? That's why you're not for school vouchers?
No, I want every public school to be elevated to
But
a
that's
level
not
where
gonna,
they.
that's
Yeah,
not going
why
to
not?
happen.
Why not?
Because it's a government school. The government never going to take care of you.
Well, I believe that the government should take.
Did
it.
you have a question for me?
I forgot what it was.
Oh.
Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, the families, right? We were talking about like
Did you
black
have
families.
a father and mother in your home? Were you
Yes.
raised by two parents?
Yeah.
Do you think life would have been different for you had you not been raised by two parents?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Probably. Sir, if you weren't raised by two parents in your household, you'd be dead. All right? You'd be dead or probably locked up. All right? Or not where you are right now. Okay? You'd be in a much worse circumstance if you were in a two-parent home with a mother and a father. Okay, and if it's like you, if your mother, it was just your mother taking care of you, possibly your siblings. I don't know what sibling, if he has any siblings or any chance, but he'd be in a much different situation than he's in right now. And the fact of the matter is, me, I came from a two-parent home. Granted that, you know, they were separated sometime, but then they reconciled into my adult years and stuff. I was able to make it out and stuff. I was able to also be an influence to some of my nieces and nephews too. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, the black community, like, it's basically like majority of those who are in the black race in America living in a single parent home where the father's not present, or possibly the child is being put into foster homes and stuff. And, you know, if it's not two parents in the household and stuff, or two married couples and stuff in the household, then the child wouldn't really be better off. Okay. Now, whether or not that couple is actually raising the child properly or being good influence to that child, that's a different story for a different day. But the fact of the matter is that Hasan Piker, he'd be in a much worse situation than he would be in right now if his father wasn't present.
So if blacks were to get married, stop having 77% of the children out of wedlock,
Yeah.
would they have a better life?
Okay, answer this though. Why?
Would they have a better life first?
But why?
I
Yes, they
answered
would.
that.
Why?
Why what?
Why are black people having 77% of African American children are born out of
77% of
wedlock?
black
Why?
children are born to black women who are citizens of this country because
Why?
they have no morals.
Wait, they have no morals?
Yeah.
That's a interesting accusation. Is there any data to back up that claim?
I don't need data. I just need my eyes.
Okay, all right.
They have no
so you have
morals.
your feelings. You
Because
have your
in the
feels
no,
over
not feelings.
reals.
No. When I was growing up, black men and women got married. That made a difference. They worked hard. That made a difference. They didn't get free stuff from the government.
Are you familiar with
That
what
made a
anecdotal
difference.
evidence is?
And they didn't have affirmative action based
Okay.
on color.
Are you familiar with anecdotal evidence?
What does that mean?
It's an anecdote. It's your personal experience. So
no,
it's
not my
clouded by
personal-
your implicit
no,
biases.
It's not. No, that was the. Do you believe that black people were ever a moral people?
What?
Do you believe that they had morals at one time?
I think black people have morals right now as well.
Is it immoral to have babies out of wedlock?
No.
It's not.
I don't think it's immoral.
Is it
to have
immoral
babies
to
out
have
of wedlock.
abortions?
No. No, I'm pro-abortion.
So you don't know what morals are. Where do you get your values from?
Wait, I think
are you
your
a Christian?
morals. Are you
Are you a Christian?
Are you a moral realist? Do you think that there is a set of? I mean, I guess you are because you're Christian, right?
Yes, I am.
You have a
Are you
set
a
of
Christian?
guidelines. I am not a Christian. No.
Are you a Muslim?
I say that I'm culturally Muslim, but I'm not actually. I'm agnostic. I cannot confirm nor deny the existence of God.
You were born in Turkey?
I was born here, actually. I'm an anchor baby.
Oh, you're an anchor baby? Really?
Yeah.
Your mother got pregnant and crossed the border illegally and dropped you down?
No, she crossed the border legally, but she gave birth to me here, so I could have American citizenship. Yes.
That's amazing. And so this
Sure
guy,
is.
Kink, what's his name? Chink?
Jank.
Jank.
Yes.
Is that your nephew? I mean, your
No,
uncle?
my uncle, yes.
That's your uncle?
Yeah.
What is it? You work for him?
I do, yeah.
What is it like working for him?
Pretty good. And there's good days and bad days, just like any other job, you know?
Yeah. Are you a liberal?
I wouldn't consider myself a liberal, no.
Are you a conservative?
No, I'm certainly not a conservative. I'm a leftist, and I would consider liberals to be conservative. I'm more progressive than most liberals.
And why is that?
Because liberals still believe in outdated modes of outdated economic systems that have yielded terrible results for the overwhelming majority of Americans and the overwhelming majority of people around the world.
You say that you at one time was a Muslim, right?
Well, I was raised in a Muslim family, but they were very progressive. My father still considers himself a Muslim, even though he doesn't follow like the 5 pillars or whatever. He never went to Hajj or anything. And my mother is probably not. My mother's not very religious.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is Islam a religion?
Yes.
It is.
It's one of the 3 Abrahamic religions, as far as I know.
And is it a religion of peace?
Yes.
Well, why do they chop off people's head and hold women back and throw homosexuals from the rooftops and they want to take over other countries? And they even say you can lie. They can say you can lie to the
Can we just
Christians.
pause for a brief moment?
Yeah.
You want to tell me about your personal black experience and use that as empirical evidence, as fact. But when I try to tell you about Muslims, you're like, nope, that doesn't work that way. I have my own perspective. If you have actual evidence to back up your claims, then we could have a conversation. Maybe I could describe where you are confused.
So here's the thing. Jesse Lee Peterson is not confused anywhere. You see, Jesse Lee Peterson has these things from different accounts and stuff. It's not just from social media. It's not even Jesse Lee Peterson's opinion. This is stuff that was shared in the media and stuff, the mainstream media back then, ever since 2014 and everything. And it's like, you know, the thing is, it's whether they want to accept it or reject it. But Jesse Lee Peterson is simply trying to go ahead and like ask questions and everything to actually see, get Piker to think for himself for once and everything, rather than going ahead and using the woke left ideology and stuff to guide his answers and stuff. Jesse Lee Peterson wants him to think. He wants everybody to think, okay, for themselves. So that way they can examine like if what they believe or their thoughts and stuff are actually accurate or if not. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you may have on this particular topic. If you enjoy what was shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video far wide across social media. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.